this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grind, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. Found out the hacks, put it underneath the rap. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts.
And that's facts though, I talk factos. Ask J Babe, I go Astro. Floating focused on my cash flow. We plant star seeds to make the grass grow. I'm a real floater, I do what I wanna. Stacking the winter, sunbathing the summer. My chakras align and I shock them like Blanco. Only Pope we acknowledge a nigga is Paulo.
At these events, I'm a god to my people. Got out the streets, yeah, we dodging a Rico. Game of roulette, I'm a casino. The game wasn't fair, yeah, the odds wasn't equal. Squad got the Chico, my squad got the Chico. Came in a drought, yeah, they starving the people. Blaming and doubt, make it harder to eat, yo. Not a placebo, this not a placebo.
The food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grind, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. Found out the hacks, put it underneath the rap. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts.
Started in Richmond, art of my district. Heart of the mystics, started for biscuits. Father to Isfits, martyr fits. Got my witness, got on my hate list. Moving weight, we started with fitness. Moving with stakes, we art of the richest. Give me the blues, my heart is in Memphis. It's part of adventure, started my venture. The F is for food, the A is for art. The C is for clothes, I'm playing my part. T is for check, I'm playing it smart. S is for shelter, I stay in the park. Acres on acres, get lost in the dark. We playing a part, we playing it smart. Facts, facts, okay.
The food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grind, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. Found out the hacks, put it underneath the rap. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts.
It's a movie, it's a movie.
Up these C-notes. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. Found out the hacks, put it underneath the rap. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts.
And that's facts though, I talk factos. Ask J Babe, I go Astro. Floating focused on my cash flow. We plant star seeds to make the grass grow. I'm a real floater, I do what I wanna. Stacking the winter, sunbathing the summer. My chakras align and I shock them like Blanco. Only Pope we acknowledge a nigga is Paulo.
At these events, I'm a god to my people. Got out the streets, yeah, we dodging a Rico. Game of roulette, I'm a casino. The game wasn't fair, yeah, the odds wasn't equal. Squad got the Chico, my squad got the Chico. Came in a drought, yeah, they starving the people. Blaming and doubt, make it harder to eat, yo. Not a placebo, this not a placebo.
The food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grind, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. Found out the hacks, put it underneath the rap. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts.
Started in Richmond, art of my district. Heart of the mystics, started for biscuits. Father to Isfits, martyr to misfits. God is my witness, got on my hate list. Moving the weight, we started with fitness. Moving with stakes, we art of the richest. Give me the blues, my heart is in Memphis. It's part of adventure, started my venture. The F is for food, the A is for art. The C is for clothes, I'm playing my part. T is for check, I'm playing it smart. S is for shelter, I stay in the park. Acres on acres, get lost in the dark. We playing a part, we playing it smart. Facts, facts, okay.
The food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grind, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. Found out the hacks, put it underneath
To this day. To this day.
I'm bugging. I had it on mute. My bad. I didn't have it on mute the whole time. I had it on the microphone setting. I'm sure we good now, right? But I got to get my sound set up, though. Let me see something. Yeah, we good. All right. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursdays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar, and I am here in the building. I'm going to be joined by a very special guest, but even after that, I have something that I cooked up. You know, I was in the lab. That's why this is a late show, because there's a lot going on, and I wanted to put my stream of consciousness in a protracted space, you know what I mean? Ever since we got up with each other last Monday on Melanin Monday, which was a classic episode. If y'all wasn't tapped in, make sure you get that, you watch that episode and this episode as well. Let me show you this shit right here last night. Fire, yo. I promise you, I shit you not. Any of my Moors that's in the building, you already know the level that this brother's bringing his information. The Grand Sheik, you know what I'm talking about? The Warrior Scholar, Brother Sharif Bey. We went in on KTL Radio / KTL Media. That's my Wednesday shows where I bring guests through, legends only, right? Let's do the roll call. Let's see who's in the building, and let's get this thing kicked off. I really want y'all to hear these sound effects because it's one of those nights. Shoot up, talk about. You mean to tell me y'all didn't hear to this day? To this day? Y'all didn't hear that? Right. This is for my Nighthawks tonight. You know what I'm talking about? This is for my nocturnal owls, my Scorpion kings and queens. A lot of people was waiting for me to go live all day. But you know, sometimes you gotta burn that midnight oil and really, really get into the witching hours and whatnot. So we good right now. You know what I'm talking about? They'll get it tomorrow or mañana. Okay, y'all heard that to this day. We back, baby. Do y'all hear it now? You just turned 33, man. Blessings or blessings for that matter. Let me see the audio. Oh, my bad. Check. Mic check.
Mike motherfucking check that part. Yeah.
Yeah, we back. You know what I'm talking about? Your special guest, Red Pillar, aka Charleston Off-White. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta get our shit together before we start cooking tonight. I'm in the motherfucking kitchen, nigga. Scorpio season. Talk black to me. To this day! To this day! That part. Yeah, so we in the motherfucking building. Let's do the roll call. To this day! Yeah, let's do the roll call. To this day! Where we at with it? Where we at with it? VA in the building, the 757. Shout out to VA in the building, George in the building. Shout out to George in the building. Yeah, Trenton in the building. Shout out to Trenton in this building. New Jersey in this bitch, Delaware. Shout out to the Nape Moors, Harlem, 126, that's right. Wagner houses. Where we at with it? PG motherfucking County. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. NC, Charlotte, NYC up in this thing. Natchez, Mississippi, to this day. Yeah, that part. To this day. H-Town for this bitch. Port Arthur, Texas in this bitch. We sipping on 4-4s. To this day. Sipping on 4-4s. Southern Cali, Long Island, New York, Rome, Georgia. Salute Cali. Philly in this thing. The North Side. Know what I mean? Shout out to the North Side. South Carolina. 816. Salute to 816. South Carolina guard. Pine Bluff up in this bitch. Arkansas. Toronto. T-Dot. Virginia. Chi-Town up in this thing. Calvary, Canada. San Francisco. We up in here deep. The West Side. It ain't that late where y'all at. Yeah, it ain't that late, Spartansburg. Okay. Yes indeed, yes indeed. So let's get right to it, because I don't want to waste anybody's time. I have a presentation, and we're going to present, you know what I'm saying? We're going to lay some things out. Yeah. That part. Fort Lauderdale, Charlotte, and this bitch. Charlotte, we coming to your city. Alright, real quick commercial break. Charlotte, we coming to your city. Get ready for us, the Facts Initiative. Alright, November the 26th in this bitch. Instead of Good Friday, instead of Black Friday, you got Facts Friday. That part. Let me get this commercial. Here we go.
Facts, 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 facts,
Okay, so the food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grid, I'm stacking up these zeros. Facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back.
The whole weekend, the whole strong end part of me. You gonna be out there turning up. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. More fire. Used to have More Fire Fridays. Yeah, we bringing that back. Peace to Jefferson, peace to the God in the building. Crenshaw and this bitch. That part. So let's talk. As you can see in the media, you know, it's apparent at this point that there's a war for your minds, your soul, your heart, and they want you to kiss the ring. There's a global campaign taking place right now where people are getting butt broken in the open with no Vaseline. Talk like that.
And I'll be damned. I'm talking about I'll be motherfucking damned if I sit back and don't have nothing to say up in this bitch when I see these niggas getting buck broken and they got niggas at the label acting like bitches at the stable. Talk back to me. I'm like, nigga, please. You thought I was feeling you? Nah. That's what these niggas would be telling the labels, but instead, these niggas is like, yes, sir, massa, whatever you got to say, sir. I was gonna go outside and whip that buck nigga break. I'ma break that buck ass nigga's back. I promise you, master. So now y'all get to see how this shit really went down. You know what I'm talking about? All you gotta do is sit back and watch these squirrels trying to get a nut. Hey,
Nah, but for real though, this shit is despicable what I'm seeing in these streets. But we're gonna get to it tonight. There's a lot of things that we need to talk about. I don't want to waste anybody's time and whatnot. So you know, I'm gonna pull this presentation up. Wait, I do have a special guest that's coming through. So before I even get into the presentation, is the God in the building? If you're in the building, open up the link so we could chop it up real quick and let these people know some of the good news that we have. You know what I mean? Before we get into our festivities, we still in announcements right now. We, mind you, we're still in announcements. You know what I mean? We're still in announcements. Best up in this thing. Best do or die. I've been listening to motherfucking Takeoff all day, and I'm ready to take off, my niggas. You know what I'm talking about? I'm ready to take off. I'm ready to take the fuck off to the moon, to the motherfucking
moon, nigga, to the moon, bitch.
That part. You niggas is out here. Long live the youth. Shit, the youth is the future. It ain't even about long live the youth. The youth was finna live. They the future. Their lives is not in peril danger. Let's not do that. The youth is gonna live, and they're gonna live on, and they're gonna be greater than the ones that they preceded, because the youth are in a unique position. Not only do they have access to supercomputers, but they exist right now, and they're living in a time where a cusp is taking place, and we are legit stepping into the future. So they have the opportunity to have their fingerprints in their hands on the future, right? If they could get out of the victimhood mentality, and this mentality that is unfortunate, you know, is being put on these young men's brains and their minds, and they affectionately call it the culture. This spell that is beginning to limit our young men and women's possibilities and probabilities of their greatness, not to take anything away from one hustle or one grind, but knowing who we are, right? And knowing our capabilities, and knowing what type of DNA lies dormant in our veins, we know by any reasonable doubt that we could be more than a drug dealer, somebody that's moving weight, that we could be more than a D-boy, that we could be more than a rapper, that we could be more than somebody's entertainment, that we could be more than an employee, that we could be more than a glorified help. To this day. While trying to convince people that you God, or that you got in, or you a king. I never met a king that was owned by a peasant or a peon. Respectfully, you know, genetically speaking, that part. So we are in a very interesting time, brothers and sisters. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But what a motherfucking time to be alive, goddammit. Who heard that Drake album? I didn't hear it yet, but that's the Scorpion. So I'm always interested what my Scorpion brethren say. Remember, facts over emotions. You know what I'm talking about? We swim through the oceans. You know? If I'm feeling myself by the end of the night, I might give you guys something written. You know what I'm saying? Some writtens. But yes, let's get to this right here. Tonight's show, we're going to deal with what is known as symbol literacy. Tonight's show is dedicated and livicated to all of my symbol literate brothers and sisters and whatnot. We're going to talk in a language, the love language of symbol literacy. You know what I'm talking about? Walk with me, hold my hands, right? We're not going to talk in the language of objection or subjection. We're not going to talk in the language of speculation. We're not going to talk in the language of conspiracy. Those are not the languages or the love languages that we're going to choose to communicate with the family. You know what I mean? Tonight, we're going to talk from a place of symbol literacy. And what does that mean? That means that I want you to see all of the things that are taking place in front of you that we could all collectively come to an agreement that we're witnessing, right? Because I don't want anybody to be like, I didn't see that. So I came with slides, you know what I'm saying? Came with slides to make sure that we see these things and we could all collectively see what it is that's being said, right? But I want you to look at what you're seeing objectively, and I also want you to see it like you're the owl sitting on a branch. Don't put your emotions into it. Don't put how you feel about it. Just observe, you know what I mean? And observe the information and whatnot. And you'll be able to walk away and make a decision to say, you know, is it or isn't it, right? So the title of the show tonight is the KKK factor. We're going to talk about Kaepernick. We're going to talk about Kanye, and we're going to talk about our good brother Kyrie, right? They have a way of killing the KANGS with their names who start with a K these days, right? K happens to be an 11. That's the master number, all right? The 11 happens to be the pillars. The pillars happen to be Boaz and Jachim, right? Strength and beauty. All three of these brothers represent what? In its purest form. Strength and beauty, right? Beautiful words from Ye, beautiful rhymes, right? The strength of Kaepernick, the strength of Kyrie. He is the phenomenon on the court. It's not just a regular player. For those who are not familiar with the sport, he is considered to be top tier. He is an elite player. He is an elite player. He's not a regular player. He's an anomaly, okay? He is following the throughway is being followed through him that we have already seen before. This is something that we've witnessed before, and it will always continue to be such. The shirt that I'm wearing, shout out to A.A. Rashid, the Kabbalah God, right? The Kabbalah God.
To this day.
These are the days of the Kabbalah God. These are the days that he's been teaching the Red House and preparing his students for, because the conversation has to get past the mundane that's taking place. They haven't even entered into the world of the Kabbalah God, the shit that he's talking about, the mysticism aspects of what this is about. We haven't even had that hasn't even been introduced. I guess a celebrity is going to have to tweet the photo from Amazon. If I knew that it was that easy to get motherfuckers to watch a DVD and start some controversy and ruffle some feathers, we would have been pressuring these niggas to tweet a long time ago. Talk, what's going on? But this is how, right? You know that they say we write our own script. So in a bizarro world, the script that I would write is that tomorrow, LeBron, you know, every single player who says that they belong to the culture, right? We don't need nobody else. Everybody count the heads of who's in the culture, who belongs to the culture, who was raised by the culture. You know what I'm talking about? Who got it in them and not on them. That part. And I bet you could get a number that now you could begin to quantitatively grow exponentially. Parabolic is what they call it. Right? Somebody said, what's the topic? The KKK factor. The KKK factor. I did a classic lecture called the Trayvon factor back in 2012. Tonight is the KKK factor. Kanye, Kaepernick, Kyrie. But it's not just Kanye, Kaepernick, Kyrie. It's also Kim K and Kanye. And it is also the Ku Klux Klan, the invisible empire.
To this day.
The one that he's really going to war after. They call it the small hats, but ultimately it's the invisible empire. It is the hidden hand. You understand? It is what they said that the Ku Klux Klan, it is an occult organization that is amongst you and around you, and you don't even know who they are. It's Kaiser Sose, niggas, the usual suspects, right? A peculiar institution from which they came. And they've seeped into all facets of the government and entertainment, you understand? And the justice system and education, and damn sure in these hospitals, right? You don't know who these people are because they are called the invisible empire. The hoods were symbolic, symbol literacy. The hoods were symbolic of what? The hoods were symbolic of them protecting their identity. I just wrote something out, man, before let's just get right to it. Because I seen them, cancel a few people in a few days. And it's like, damn, you guys are setting a precedence. Shit. This shit should apply to everybody else. So when I'm starting to, break down what the KKK factor is, I want to remind you guys that you're witnessing the canceling and the public humiliation, and also the quote unquote crucifixion of the messiahs, the BlackaMoor messianic forces that speak through our people when they decide to stand up and be their proper persona, right? And when their DNA is activated, once you receive the divine spark, you can't unspark it, right? But tell me this, riddle me this.
I'm gonna read it in this voice. I'm gonna ask you, inquiring chipmunks want to know, my niggas. I never recall the KKK getting censored or suspended by these platforms. I never remember seeing a KKK getting platformed, deplatformed, or banned. I never recall the KKK getting RICO
charges. What's up with that, niggas? I never seen the KKK
getting RICO charges. Fuck is you saying?
To this day,
I never recall the KKK getting interviewed by Vlad, academics, Joe Rogan, Joe Button, or Math Hoffa. I never recall the KKK members being held to apologize. I never recall the KKK being doxxed on social media.
To this day,
I never recall the KKK being told to renounce their hate speech. I never recall the neo-Nazis being told to renounce Hitler.
to this day,
I never recall the neo-Nazis being deplatformed on these Jewish
to this
platforms.
day,
I never recall the KKK being debanked by JP Morgan.
to this day.
I ain't never recall it. Did you? Maybe I missed it. You know what I'm saying? I be busy and shit. So, this symbolic Mars and Retro, my bad.
To this day, to
This
this
for the
day,
symbol literate. The symbolism of us traveling through Mars and Retro, the planet of war, right? While in Scorpio, the sign of death.
to this day, to this day,
We come from the KKK rituals. King, Kennedy, and Kennedy, the Kennedy brothers, right? The assassination of the KKK, the Ks, the triple Ks. Now we on the triple Ks in these
to
days.
this,
Kaepernick, Kanye, Kyrie. We gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. The fear of the BlackaMoor Messiah state. You can't stand the truth. You feel me? So the names for the Ku Klux Klan, so you understand who I'm speaking of, is the hidden hand, the invisible empire, the deep state, the red line, the underworld, the occult satanic, the necromancers, The cannibals and the savages, the sorcerers and the warlocks. They have a book called a Holy Kloran that's washed in the blood of Christ. Don't get it fucked up. They're the horsemen of death, and they're the protectors of the lost cause. These are the people that Kanye is fighting.
Day! To this day!
They all work together.
They all work together to uphold the lie, to hold the motherfucking people back. You understand? They're scared of the truth. The triple K's is the 13, right? The triple K's is the 13. No, the triple M's is the 13. Malcolm and Martin. And the 11, the master number we have, you know, why are these K's being sacrificed in front of us? What is it about them? Right? So let's get into this little presentation real quick, y'all. Y'all all right? Now, this conversation that we're having tonight is a continuation of the conversation that we were having with the lecture entitled Ye Are Gods. Shout out to everybody that pulled up to Ye Are Gods, right? This one right here, this is an instant classic. 7 hours. Me and Blue Pill tore this shit to shreds, yo. We were decoding so many things that are happening right now. And we was touching on a whole plethora of things that happened over the past month because we had to capture the information, crystallize it, and put it into something because as a people, we're forgetful. We be forgetting shit that happened last 2-3 months ago. So that right there is on KTL University. And we definitely, yeah, we went in. Me and Blue definitely went in on that. I highly suggest that you tap in to that conversation because you could watch the YouTubes, but it would be almost asinine of you to skip over a 7-hour presentation and you know how we giving it up. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm not gonna get on here and get on braggadocio and whatnot, but you know what we, you know what I mean? You know what we give up. You know what I mean? So yeah, Ye Are Gods. This conversation is a continuing of that. This is like the epilogue as we go into something else. I have I have an announcement that I'm going to make before the night is out about what we got coming up and whatnot. There's going to be a continuation of conversations that we start having. Let me see. Trying to share my screen. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to do something. Y'all see that, right? Y'all good? Let me see. Let me pull it up on my phone. Make sure we good. Shout out to the moderators in the building. Okay, yeah, we gooch. All right, gooch. All right, boom. So yes, previously or Ready to Die. So we are in Mars, which is war, retro, during Scorpio season, right? Which is death. Now, we opened up October with your boy tweeting out 2 things. This picture where he was dressed up like a Universal Soldier at the Balenciaga show, right? And he was looking like a Universal Soldier ready for war. Then he began his engagement and he tweeted out war. Then he tweeted out DEFCON 3. So symbolically, not literally, symbolically tonight, y'all. That's why we do symbolically, symbol literacy classes on a late night, because, you know, we got the lower grades and whatnot in the earlier hours. But symbol literately speaking, he's representing this Mars energy, right? He's representing the one, the return of the Messiah with the flaming sword. That's the tongue. Not to take away from the other messiahs or the other ones and whatnot. I don't believe that we're on the hunt for the Neo in this situation. We're pointing out the fact that as an archetype, right? The same way that the stars are archetype, but they also have their own mythos and stories and whatnot. But as an archetype, you know, what it is that's taking place. So this Halloween, you know, this Halloween weekend, or this portal that was opened up, this Day of the Dead, right? And All Hallows Eve and things of that nature. There was a lot of, in this Mars in retro, there was a lot of calamities around the world, right? A lot of calamities were taking place, you know, at the same time and whatnot. And something happened that was very interesting in the midst of what is known as the chaos, right? In the midst of the chaos, in the swirling of the chaos magic, right? Well, in the swirling of the chaos of all of the grief that may has been taking place, and while the veils were its lowest, right? Somebody or someone or something, the post Elon's Twitter managed to put some tweets out that made it the #1 trending topic, right? That your boy right here was a corpse. Conveniently, right? During a time where we dealing with Mercury, right? We dealing with Gemini communication. We dealing with Mars in retro, right? So the fact that they inserted this story inside of that chaos is a form of what they known as meme magic, which is a form of chaos magic, which is really a form of spirit cooking. So I'm going to put it out there that if anything were to happen to this man, that this is one of the nodes that I'm just pointing out, that you know, this is where the spell took place. Remember, you've seen the media weaponize, go into full war machine mode. So you see, you know what they're capable of, right? And if we have to study more about meme magic, and if we have to study more about how they utilize these platforms, such a powerful weapon Twitter is, such a powerful weapon Instagram is, when it's weaponized, when it could be turned into a propaganda machine, when it could be turned into a Ouija board, or when it could be turned into a pot. Like they said in the Matrix, you die in the Matrix, you die in the real world.
To this day.
You die in the Matrix, you die in the real world, right? They crucifying these people in the Matrix, and then it spills over into the real world, almost similar, if not eerily similar, to the movie that we all saw. But anyway, right? And here's another story, or another instance to show you the power of where we are at the last month of Jason months, right? There will be blood. It's already popping off. You dig what I'm saying? It's already going down. They already setting it off. You know what I mean? Nancy Pelosi's husband got attacked. You know what I'm talking about? Nancy with a hammer, I believe, right? You know, people are really climbing the gates and whatnot. So this whole time, over the past few days since we last met, there's been a lot of information that has been exploding online. Like Blue Pill in his expert dissertation last night on Black Magic 363. If it wasn't last night, it was the night before. Him and the master teacher Aline Bay, right? They did a demonstration dealing with blood rituals and the power of bloodletting and whatnot. How that brings things into fruition and into manifestation in existence. So people who benefit off of, you know, watching people die on film, they benefit off of the grief that hip hop and the culture goes through every time they lose one of their own, right? There are people who know how to benefit off of, you know, the grief and the fear, right? When blood is spilled, but when blood is spilled, things are activated. So whenever these rappers are taken from us, there's a small window where people are having, you know, conversations about solutions, and they want to learn and they want more information, and they want to be convinced the shit is not as bad as they think it is. You know what I mean? And it makes them curious to do a little bit of deep diving and whatnot. And, you know, the situation has a lot of people's attention. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to get into the folliness or any of the mundane conversations surrounding these artists losing their lives. We're just going to touch on some things that will make sense to those of us who are students, you know what I mean, of the teaching. So this brother right here is on Instagram. You could go and follow him. I'm telling him that Red Pill sent you. I'm sure he will be very, very pleased and whatnot. These are some of his tweets and whatnot. He had a whole thread, but I might not have put it together in succession, but I'm gonna read through it. Now, since I've been reading this, I've been trying to break the code. This is about the procession of the equinox. Let me preface this conversation right here. This is about the procession of equinox. The procession of equinox, you will understand that there are periods and times in the world where things happen, okay? There is nothing that you can do about it. There's empirical proof to show during these processions of equinox, there are things that obey the dictates of that equinox. So the brother is able to lay out many of the equinox, the processions that we've gone through in these equinox and where we're at now, and the 30-year Saturn return is coming upon us. Okay, so hip hop is at a crossroads. Hip hop is turning 50 next year. Hip hop is having a Chiron return. In 1998, hip hop turned 25. In 2003, hip hop turned 30, which was a major shift in hip hop. Many 90s acts didn't make it, right? If you can remember, between 1994 and 1999, we lost so many rappers. Big L, Notorious Big, Stretch, Tupac, Eazy-E, Freaky Ty, G Slim. The 90s was a sad time for hip hop. Saturn being in the last sign of the zodiac, Pisces, means it's finishing up not only a 30-year cycle, but we're finishing up an era in history. The last time Saturn was in Pisces/Aries, we anticipated Y2K, and before that, the historical civil rights movement, and before that, World War II. Now, 30 years later, we've arrived at the same theme again, and that's one thing about astrology. It lets you know that life is truly a matrix, cycles, and you can only get out of it by having a code to prepare yourself. It was during that time as well that we started to talk about the traumas of gangster hip hop. Sounds familiar to the conversations that we're facing right now. There's an article that said that the day that hip hop died, the long-reaching effects of the 1995 Source Awards. Remember when they got on stage? If you don't want people dancing in your videos, come over to Death Row, right? P. Diddy's birthday was on the 4th. It was also during this time, many of us met Dolores Tucker, the infamous hip hop critic who wanted to ban violence in hip hop music. Sounds similar to now. Remember Dolores? She was attacking labels for exploiting hip hop culture. She was attacking labels for exploiting hip hop culture, which had been a long history in hip hop culture, record labels who bank off inner city impoverished neighborhood traumas. Saturn in Pisces, progression into Aries. Saturn 2026 to whenever, North Node 2023 and on, Jupiter 2022 and on. That's the return of R&B, right? The return of bands, musical groups, the return of Black-owned record labels. Then in the early 2010s, when Neptune moved into Pisces, streaming music and movies were becoming a norm. So if we trust the transit, we know the same will happen again. We are gearing up for a different sound. If you remember, during the Pisces Aries transit in 1997, 1999, music became more digital. We had Kaiser, Napster, etc., spaces that forced music to change sonically, right? So, like I said, the slides are not probably in the proper order, so pardon me on that. But the brother is definitely going in. You know what I mean? He's dropping a lot of information. I'm actually going to put this PDF on my Patreon. So for people that want to read everything that we have up here, make sure you go ahead and sign up to the Patreon. I'll put it up on the screen. It's /Red Pillar. All right. One thing that you must remember is that energy is universal. It just morphs into the environments it's placed in and then forms into people, places, things, etc. So remember that with all transits, okay? Remember that. Energy never really dies. Energy never really dies. So speaking of that, this group right here that we're about to talk about, the Migos, I want people to understand how important the Migos are symbolically speaking, right? From a symbol literate standpoint, I want you to understand what this means, right? This group Migos who represented the culture, right? These brothers, before a lot of people that you see right now were on the scene and whatnot, they were the ones who were setting the blueprint, right? I'm even gonna say as far as before Bad and Bougie, but definitely after that, they created a sound that hasn't even been duplicated yet. You know, they represented the culture. They were the hottest dudes in the motherfucking game for a very long time. You know what I mean? Before the rise of Little Baby and Thug and the rest of them and the other ones and whatnot. This is a very interesting group. This group is no more. So when this group falls, the culture falls, right? This group is no more. This group is officially done and over. No disrespect, but the group broke up. One part of the group broke. Now there's a second part of the group that's gone, and that's the broken pillar. And we're left with Quavo and Offset, who are the warring family blood brothers, right? They're blood. They are blood related, okay? And they're at odds with each other. And you know, shit, one of the worst things is to lose somebody before you bury the hatchet, right? War. Migos detail why they left 300 Entertainment in a new Complex cover story, right? The Migos have enjoyed a meteoric rise, bursting into the hip-hop mainstream with back-to-back appearances at #1 atop the Billboard 200 album charts with their two-part Culture series. I just want to jog your memory and remind everybody out there that these were breakout artists for the label called 300, who was ran by Liar Cohen back in those days, right? So these artists, the Migos, this group right here, this group is one of the groups that popped them to the top, but they got robbed, right? They got done dirty, right? They were being held back. All of the things that was spoken of on this Drink Champs interview, you know, they kind of experienced that, right? Complex sat down with Quality Music Control stars for their latest cover story. Members of the Migos and QC CEO Pierre P. Thomas dished on why the Versace artist finally left 300 Entertainment after a messy dispute, right? That was the name of the video, the last video that they put out the day before Takeoff lost his life. The name of the video is Messy, right? So they had a messy dispute with a very powerful man in the year 2016 who was, they said, you know, basically taking their money and not doing what they're supposed to do. 300 Entertainment, which was led by Kevin Liles, an industry savant, Liar Cohen at that time, inked a distribution and marketing deal with the motorsport artist during the summer of 2014 after QC discovered the group a year prior. Quality Control leaders Kevin Coach K. Lee and Pierre P. Thomas believed the deal could take a trap label to the next level, but the relationship quickly soured. So here it goes. You saw the interview with Liar Cohen that I showed on a few episodes before this, where he said that he's picks talents over problems and whatnot. He picks talent over issues. So he was one of the first major labels who is a dinosaur in the industry. You heard him say an industry savant. Then you got a heavy hitter like Kevin Liles. They was like, yo, we're going to make a trap label, a major label. We're going to push their artists into the mainstream and whatnot, and we're going to make them household names. The Migos couldn't be the Migos if they were just with some old regular label and whatnot. So one of the progenitors, the person who has their original contract, right? The person who has the original rights to them, the person who owns pieces of them or parts of them, likenesses of them, catalogs of them, intellectual property of them. God damn it.
You know what I'm saying? The warlocks, the wizards.
Who own you on paper, right? Kanye said that slavery is an option. You have the decision to sign or not to sign. You could sign or not to sign, to be or not to be. That is the question. So you have the willpower to not be a slave. Some people is not gonna sign a motherfucking contract. But the contract is binding. You can't break out of certain contracts, and especially one that Liar Cohen writes. So he has
control
of Takeoff.
To this day. To this day.
Look at My Dab was one of the biggest songs of that year. We had athletes doing it. You had the kids and everybody was doing it, but you didn't see it on iTunes. You see what I'm saying? We couldn't sell it. We couldn't stream it because we was in a battle. We got a company saying, y'all can't put no music out. We ain't letting y'all sell nothing. This is the people at QC talking about how they were being treated by 300s. P followed up the sentiment by saying, I'm going to stand behind him on that, because for 18 months, we couldn't sell no product. Whatever we was already out, what that was already on iTunes or whatever, that was cool. But anything that we was putting out, it was like we was shackled down. The 300 was the biggest hurdle. They try to hold us against our will. It was a now or never, no in-house hurdles we ever had, like where it had been a problem. With 300, that was the biggest thing, going through times and situations with them. And we still did get them right. Left them a nice piece of work, right? So that nice piece of work is owned by Liar Cohen, right? And I'm going to show you that there's a connection. This shit is crazy. Migos is an American hip-hop group from Lawrenceville, Georgia, founded in 2008. The group was originally composed of rappers Quavo, Takeoff, and Offset. They are managed by Coach K, another K, the former manager of Atlanta-based rappers Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy, right? So this is they're the progenitors of trap culture. They come from the biggest label for trap culture, right? And the biggest agents and quote unquote managers behind trap music and trap artists. So before Little Baby, the Migos is the crown jewel. They are the node of trap music in that sense, right? This Atlanta sound, right? We're going to talk about this Atlanta sound and how it's being taken down and what artist by artist, right? So they collaborated with producers, DJ. I want to give y'all their names, right? I want to read their names to y'all so y'all see who these brothers. Okay, very interesting names. Migos were formed in 2008 by Quavo, born Quavius Kayate Marshall, right? Born on April 2nd, which happens to be my son, my Aries 2-year-old's birthday.
To this day.
And y'all already know I came on this show to talk about, I've told y'all how fiery this young man is. At 2 years old, he's turned. So Takeoff's name, right? He's born, let's read it together, Kirshnik, Kyrie, Bali.
To this day.
Right? He's 2Ks.
To this day.
And offsets, right? Say it with me. Kyrie, Kendrell, Cephas.
To this day. To this day.
If anybody heard anything about Lord, the King Cephas, you already know what this is about, right? His last name is named Cephas, right? And Blue Pill talks extensively. As a matter of fact, after this video is over, I will be uploading a Blue Pill video from earlier that he did when he was in Atlanta, when he was getting his hair done. His hair did, and the brother was going in. I'm talking about, I never seen nobody get their hair locked and whatnot or twisted and be shooting 4-pointers from the goddamn from the salon chair. But Blue Pill laid out some high-level information dealing with everything that's going on right now. I highly suggest that y'all tap in with that show. That's going to be uploaded as soon as this one is wrapped up. So Offset's name is Kyrie Kendrell Cephas, and they originally called themselves the Polo Club. The three members are directly related and were raised together. Nobody wins when the family feuds. Nobody wins when the family feuds. This is a family who broke up in the public, and they were running, you know what I mean? And the power that they had as the Trinity, right? That three, the power that they had as a trio, the power that they had connected, you know, unfortunately, if these are the lessons that we're learning, right? These are a lot of us have been traumatized just watching you know, videos and footage of some of these young men take their last breath. That is what is considered to be a dehumanization tactic, and it could be a little inhumane. Fuck you up. You're not supposed to see people taking their last breath like that. I clicked on Twitter, post Elon, right? The day after I heard Kanye West or Ye introduce a term called red media, and I've raised concerns about the fact that these people know what they're doing by traumatizing, triggering, and, you know, creating cortisol and even dis-ease in the hearts and the minds, the spirits and the souls of the people by continuously putting what is called, you know, cadavers, right? Corpses, Black Death, you know what I mean? Crucified messiahs in front of us. You know, what is it doing to our psyche? So let me run through this. All right. So like you see, they signed, these are the albums. This is what we know they got a lot of singles. We know they had a lot of mixtapes, but on the wiki, the discography reads Young Rich Nation, Culture, Culture 2, Culture 3. Symbolically speaking, that's the culture. So the culture is breaking down. The culture is breaking up. The culture is dying. And I'm speaking about the culture that no longer feeds us anymore. This deaf culture. Eventually, ye must rise from ye's asses, because ye are gods.
To this day.
Ye must rise from
ye's ashes, because ye are motherfucking gods.
To this day.
Ye are motherfucking gods. You gotta rise up, black man. Rise up, ye mighty nation.
The fuck? What the fuck? Got these Poindexters pointing at us. What the fuck is going on? On September the 7th, what?
September the 7th, Kanye West announced that he has signed Migos to a management deal.
To this day.
You remember that?
To this day.
That Zaza be taking memories away. September the 7th. Check, check. In 2016, Kanye West announced that he has signed Migos to a management deal with his Good Music imprint. But in January 2017, the group stated that they were not affiliated with West. Hell no. Mike. Problem. Understand? So, check. All right, this shit going crazy. We're gonna have to do a motherfucking fundraiser for Mike. God damn it. Got a short, as if you don't, if you haven't realized there's a short. All right, the second album, Culture, was released in 2017, right? Culture 2, released in January 2018. In 2022, they released an album called Only Built for Infinity Links, right? Him and his nephew, Quavo, and Takeoff put out Only Built for Infinity Links, right? A take on Only Built on Cuban links, signaling that they are together forever, right? The 8, Only Built for Infinity Links, right? I am my brother's keeper, right? I died for my brother, that part, while distancing themselves from the third member, Takeoff, who is married to Cardi B, while he's doing his thing. And it stems from a lot of things that I don't even know about, so I'm not going to speak on. One of the things that I find interesting when we do the research is that not only did Liar Cohen get behind the Migos, and he's responsible for their, right, beginnings, you know, where artists wind up later on. I like to know who started them out, who put them on the road, who pushed them in this direction and whatnot. Who is the handler, right? Or who is the one who opened the door? So in the case of Young Thug, right, it was Liar Cohen. In the case of Jay-Z, right, it was Liar Cohen. In the case of Kanye right now, it's Liar Cohen, right? So Liar Cohen talks about Migo issues with 300 Entertainment, Kanye West, and more. This is 2018. These niggas been putting people in the same pot together. Liar Cohen stopped by the Breakfast Club, and here's how it all went down. He talked about his start in America, how he got into hip hop. He threw a $36,000 party with Red Hot Chili Peppers and Run DMC, etc. YouTube is the best outlet for up-and-coming artists. The disconnect between the label and streaming. Labels don't like YouTube payout. Paying with your eyeballs. Subscription service. What does Liar see for the future regarding music distribution, cassettes to CDs to streaming, the cost of CDs, the importance of labels, the importance of touring and developing an audience, Kanye with the MAGA hat picture? If the artist is talented but don't agree with the views, does that matter? Drug problems in the industry, him being opportunistic, how does he respond to being called a culture vulture? People feel like Liar broke up Rockefeller. Where does he see the future of music going? Will streaming ever be free? The issue of exclusives, YouTube music streaming. What's your overall mission for YouTube and industry? Rich the Kid, he runs YouTube, y'all. This same platform that we're on right now. He's running that right now, all the way from being Run DMC's tour manager to running a multi-billion-dollar behemoth, right? That not only is responsible for the mass awakening of the people, but also the mass silencing and censoring of the people, okay? The mass censoring of the people. But if you ask me, in my humble opinion, it's done more good than bad. But under his helm, artists like the Migos and other trap rap prodigies that he was behind on the label side, these artists began to see impressions unseen before from artists of that genre. And they went on a meteoric rise. That meteoric rise on places and platforms like YouTube translated into streams, was translated into windfalls of money for the interests of the Liar Cohens and his cohorts. He puts people in position in places while he goes and climbs the ladder and get into places like YouTube. He's steering that ship. Okay. Does he ever redo contracts? The Migos issue with 300, right? Culture 1 versus Culture 2. So the Culture Vulture is the one behind naming the series of Culture, or probably greenlighting the Culture and them being the face of the Culture. So them being the face of the Culture was really Liar's hand. So Liar was now the face of the Culture, the new Culture. And then he brought Young Thug in. Then he brought Thug into the Culture, and then he made Thug the Culture, right? So is he gonna apologize for doing that? Is he gonna apologize to the black community for the messages and the motherfucking the auto suggestions that these men have given our children? Did he ever apologize for signing Jay-Z, who was talking about selling crack and coke and Hove at the stove and whatnot? Not to say that he continued to do it, but when it was Rockefeller underneath Dame Dash and Jay-Z, that shit was a digital crack house for a long time. And then when Ye rose up, he began to civilize the savages and whatnot. He began to civilize the savages just with his demonstration. But Liar's position and his handprints and his fingerprints are behind a lot of the fuckery in our culture and our community, and it leaks and it seeks into the streets and whatnot, into the killing fields of these impoverished communities that they market and they target. And it's crickets on that. Nobody has to apologize for that. Nobody has to speak on that. You're dealing with some fucking wizards and some warlords. You're dealing with some wizards and some warlocks. I promise you. You don't even know what you're looking at when you're seeing these people. These people have steered the culture. You talk about Migos being the culture. These are the culture right here. This is the culture that set up a lot of shit. The whole music industry. You know what I'm talking about? You have Rick Rubin over here looking like a high-level motherfucking in the priesthood. Then you have your good brother, you know what I'm saying? Yoga style. You know what I mean? Russell Simmons, right? And then you have Liar Cohen. This is the brains behind Def Jam. Post Slick Rick era, post that other era, they brought in Jay-Z, right? Early Rockefeller, you know what I mean? Crack Rockefeller. They brought that in, you know what I'm saying? They brought DMX in. You dig what I'm saying? They brought a lot of people in and they pushed a lot of the light out. They put a lot of the quote, they made it imbalanced. They were the ones who imbalanced it in a sense. Okay? Rick Rubin bringing in the Beastie Boys. Rick Rubin bringing in Walk This Way, introducing heavy metal and whatnot, death metal and shit like that into hip hop. Right? And then bringing hip hop closer into mainstream and whatnot. And then Liar comes and he basically sells, but with the help of Russell, of course, and they sell hip hop to the labels. They sell hip hop to the corporations. They sell hip hop across the world, and they control the images and whatnot. Okay. So our good brother Takeoff, the day the minute that I got off the live, I promise you, on Monday, on phone them, when I finished my live, right? When I finished my live, I was on Melanin Monday cooking and whatnot, and I was telling the people, you got to keep your head on swivel.
Talk black to me.
You gotta keep your head on fucking swivel.
To this day.
Real in these fields.
To this day.
To this day. Especially right now, you gotta keep your shit on swivel, bro. You know what I'm talking about? It's dangerous outside. Balls and retro. If somebody step on your motherfucking Adidas, just let it go. If they step on your Yeezys, my nigga, let it
go. Let it go. Don't fight that.
You know what I'm talking about? Don't fight that. Let that shit fly. You know what I'm talking about? Like a mosquito, my niggas. Let it fly. Live to fly another day, my nigga. Cause it's real in these streets. Uh-huh. Niggas running around looking like P. Diddy as a joker. Talk black to me.
Niggas is riding around demon time Joker energy like Diddy showed you. But get a load of this shit. Wait till remember, we're looking at this through the eyes of the symbol literate. You're putting on your they live glasses and whatnot, and we're looking at this through the symbol literate eyes and whatnot. I'm not giving you a DJ Academics rundown about who did what and where they was at and all of these other things. I'm not trying to be judgmental and any of that. I don't want to insert that into this conversation. I want to give you the facts, but I also want to show you some of the things that are, you know, subtle, but but it's right here. Okay, the K's, the KANGS, you know what I mean? The the Kings, right? But the KANGS revenge, right? Why are all of the K's dying? He's one of those people that they said he was the good one. He was the quiet one, right? He was the intellect of the group, right? When you listen to his music, he respected the craft. Shit. He was the culture. He was the culture. He had it in him. It wasn't on him. He had it in him. Every time they would drop a project, the hashtag read, Takeoff is the best Migo. Takeoff is the best Migo. So the record label said, it is with broken hearts and deep sadness that we mourn the loss of our beloved brother, Kirshnik, Kyrie, Ball, right? Ball. Shout out to our good brother, Ross Ben. Salute to Ross Ben. Salute to his whole family, love and light. And he breaks down the name Ball, going all the way back into our antiquity, right? He was known, our good brother Kirshnik, Khari, Ball, known to the world as Takeoff, because he would take off on them tracks. Senseless violence and a stray bullet has taken another life from this world, and we are devastated. Please respect his family and friends as we all continue to process this monumental loss. June 18th, 94 to November the 1st, 2022. Right? So he was in Houston visiting, right, and celebrating the birthday of a Scorpio, right? A Scorpio. On a Scorpio, in the month of Scorpio, he was in Houston, right, visiting Jay Prince Jr., and they were celebrating the brother's birthday. But when I did the research, it just so happened that his father, Jay Prince Sr., is also a Scorpio, right? And then when I dig deeper, it come to find out that the Ghetto Boys, this year Halloween fell on a weekend. His brother's born on Halloween. Jay Prince, right? Mob ties, right? Rap a lot. A very mysterious figure, but a highly central figure just in the whole hip-hop dichotomy or the hip-hop chessboard. I wasn't aware of him being a Scorpio, right? And they cut their teeth and became real legends in the fucking game, immortalized, because these are the Scorpios who went and found and signed a Scorpio, Drake. They discovered Drake and they're behind Drake, right? Drake is the one who popped off the Migos with the Versace remix, right? So Jay Prince, there's always these favors that they're able to pull, right? So this is the Ghetto Boys right here, right? Willie D is a Scorpio, Scarface is a Scorpio, heavy Scorpio energy, Dallas. I didn't know it was that fucking heavy, Houston, my bad. Houston, we got a problem. I didn't know the scorpionic energy was that powerful out there, right? Keep in mind, we're talking about nodes and master nodes. These would be the master nodes for the gangster rap era, not the trap rap, not the drill rap, the gangster rap era. I would go on record saying in Houston, the gunsling in Houston, it's going down in Houston. Shoot 'em up, bang, bang, my niggas. Damn, damn, damn. Blood, right? Houston, we have a problem. Scorpionic energy. I remember how I felt when I was watching, when I was listening to my dude's Scarface first album, right? Real shady activity going on in the world of the princes, though, right? There's in the video, and I will not show that on this show. I'm not going to indulge in that form of journalism because it's not for everybody to see, but it's clear as day that when the young man was laying on the floor lifeless, and it was very apparent that he lost a part of his he got shot in the head twice. I just want to just leave it at that. I don't want to be graphic, but he took 2 headshots, I believe, from a switch, right? Because those are the shots that will go out that could hit you the same place in seconds. And Jay Prince walked right past him, smoking a blunt, and didn't even console Quavo, right? I spoke about this case, right? I was able to timestamp it when I was in Houston. I came from Houston with Wisdom Bella in September, and I came on the show, and I talked about this incident. The first dice game was somebody lost their life with Jay Prince Jr., right? So I was like, yo, I was in Houston, and you know, when you go to somebody's city, you hear about all of the street shit, right? So I heard about a lot of street shit going on out there. I was in the 5th Ward. Shout out to Pop Darby. I was in the 3rd Ward. Shout out to Soul Food Vegan, the God Talik and whatnot, who I'm going to bring on this show because he's one of the originators of doing breakdowns on the messiahs and the messianic force, especially in the culture, right? Especially in the culture nowadays, these young gods and whatnot that are running around, going through the hero's journey, right? Going through the hero's journey, going through the dark night of the soul. You know what I mean? People are going through initiation in front of our eyes, whether they're considered to be stars or not. It's the precession of the equinox. Everything is in movement, right? So this is a very sad story and whatnot. There was a dice game going on. This brother's all the way from Chicago, right? His name is Duke the Jeweler, right? He had on $1 million worth of jewelry. He beat somebody for $100,000 in one of the dice games and whatnot. A dice game that Jay Prince Jr. put together. Boozy and it was there. It was a lot of killers and goons. I mean, Mob, Boozy, mix it in with the motherfucking the mob, what's they call them? Mob ties. That's a lot of killers around you and whatnot. And I the brother didn't have the type of security that he made it needed, but he might have been one of those people who checked in, right? Because the process of checking in means if you pull up and you take care of me, you'll be safe. I'm going to protect you in my city. Nothing to happen to you in my city. You don't got to have your head on swivel. Unfortunately, this man was killed and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? This man got murdered. You know what I mean? And now in this situation dealing with Takeoff, the same man is being accused of either having, not to say that he has something to do with it, but the fact that he walked by the man like that, the fact that he put the motherfucking location, Quavo and No Cap and Shakur Stevenson on the way, you know what I mean? Dropping locations like they said that P&B's wife did when they was at Roscoe's, right? So a lot of people are looking at them super sideways, and they like, what the fuck is going on in Houston? Houston, we have a problem, right? This man right here was very much loved by everybody, by everybody. He didn't have that type of personality. You know what I'm talking about? He didn't have that type of personality, you know. So let's get into some of the conversations about one of the K's and the KKK factor, right? This tweet right here, this shit right here, this has to be spoken of. I think it just went out today, and it has to be spoken of. It has to be examined and broken down, and we're gonna do it briefly right now. So he put a tweet out that said, I was told that if I expose the truth of the bad business practices, everything is going to be taken from me, including my black children. And everyone has bore witness or whiteness to the public image tilling of Ye. But God has put something on my heart not to back down. Then he put a picture of his trainer. This is the same trainer who committed him in 2000 and what was it, 16, when he had the meltdown at the concert, and the next day he got renditioned. And if you don't know what renditioned is you basically get put into you get held against your will, and they put you into psychic evaluation. They 730 you and whatnot, and then what is known as behavior modification takes place. This book right here, let me see if I have it. Give me 1 minute. This is an excellent book on the subject. It's called Unnatural Interference, A Brief History of Mind Control. You know what I mean? We'll get into that. But what Ye said was he was being threatened and coerced to not speak up the truth and whatnot, because these people were threatening to take away his children. Now, this is his trainer, right? And this is a tweet that he wrote to him, or this is a text message that he sent to him, and he put it up there. Ye said, what should be obvious by now is that I was raised to stand for my truth regardless of the consequences, right? Then he said, I will say this again. I was mentally misdiagnosed and nearly drugged out of my mind to make me a manageable, well-behaved celebrity. What he's referring to is that time that he got rendition, and when he came out, it was obvious that they got to him. He was wearing blonde hair. He went and wore the MAGA hat. Niggas tore into him, canceled him, dragged him and whatnot. He was obviously looking like the man from Get Out. This
Nigga was looking lost. You know what I'm talking about? Like a motherfucking deer in the headlights. You know what I mean? The nigga went and got liposuction. We should have known something is wrong, because mine them don't get liposuction. Bad man don't get liposuction. You know what I mean? He was running around, and Kim K was his handler. Yeah, she was his fucking handler. And they had him on a leash. You know what I'm talking about? They had this nigga on a fucking leash. He was domesticated. He was that nigga on Get Out. And when they start taking pictures, he starts snapping back. So even though he's off of his rockers, it's because he's off of his meds. And he's letting you know he's been heavily medicated ever since that situation. And they are modifying his behavior and controlling him. And he has a handler. And this is the text message from the handler. If you niggas know anything about handlers, you could read the motherfucking love language. You know what he's saying. You know what the fuck he's saying. This is this guy right here looking like a fucking conehead. Right? To your left. To your left. To your left. This is his trainer. This is also Lizzo's trainer. And I saw Lizzo on a red carpet recently. Yeah, this nigga doesn't be training. He'd probably be on the phone when they get together. But anyway, that's another story. But anyway, this is his voice. I'm going to read it in his voice. Okay? I'm going to read it in his voice. Here we go.
I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use curse words. and everything that is discussed and based in facts and not some crazy stuff that your dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option is where it gets scary. I have you institutionalized again.
Yeah, this nigga is talking greasy. Let's go back to the motherfucking tweet. He said, second option, right? This nigga's like, what do you want, a knife or a motherfucking gun? A rope or some scissors? Second option, I have you institutionalized again where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever.
God damn it.
Crazy. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. God damn it. That's handler talk, not Chelsea handler, nigga. That's handler talk. That's MK Ultra talk. That's how they talk to you when they know that they motherfucking spirit cooked you and they got you on a leash and they handling you. So Kyrie is getting crucified by the coons or the coontastic ones and whatnot. You niggas saw the battle rap with Tay Rock and Swamp. Don't diss the coons, nigga. They go out. Nigga.
What's your reaction?
Nothing.
Do y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that? Can you hear the audio on that? Let me know. Talk black to me. I just played a video. Can you hear the audios? Make sure y'all hit that Cash App. You know what I'm talking about? The same way that y'all would have hit the Super Chat, hit the Cash App. Because if we had Super Chat, that should be going bananas right now. I don't want to use a new business model, which is to charge everybody $2 to get in. But I got to collect mines at the door because I don't got Super Chat. You know what I'm talking about? So let's support Red Media. The real, not Red Media, Red Pill Media. Not Red Pill Media like that shit that they doing with the Red Pill movement. That's why I changed it to Red Pillar. I'm not Red Pill anymore. They can have that. I'm the Red Pillar. Talk black to me.
To this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
Yeah. New name alert, my niggas. New name alert.
What's your reaction?
Nothing. Because it's bull jive. This is what Kyrie said in part of his statement. I'm aware of the negative impact of my post, the Jewish community, and I take full responsibility. I do not believe everything said in the documentary was true or reflect my morals and principles. I'm a human being learning from all walks of life.
That's what he said,
and
bitch.
I intend to do so with an open mind and
That's
a
what he
willingness
said,
to listen. There are several things that we can call Kyrie.
That's what he said, you butt-ass ass
Open-mindedness is not one of those things. Hold on, Skip. Where's I'm sorry?
What?
I thought all apologies, something has to say, I'm sorry.
Nigga, what?
I'm sorry. What did the post, the negative attention my post brought on a said community?
Nigga, what?
Hold on.
You thought I was feeling you?
Agent, your stepmom,
That
and your
nigga's
dad
a munch.
you didn't meet with him. So what did you
Butter
learn?
biscuit.
I'm just trying to figure out the open-mindedness.
Butter
When people are
biscuit.
trying to talk to you about what you're saying, you shut them down. Y'all dehumanizing me.
Butter biscuit. Fuck out of here. You thought I was feeling you, Sharpie? Nah, niggas a munch.
Niggas showing their true signs, nigga. They out there buck down. Shaquille O'Neal's talking crazy, right? So here's the statement that shows you, right? This is the, like I said, the 3Ks and whatnot. You're seeing the crucifixion of the 3Ks. You're seeing the motherfucking fear of the not fear of a BlackaMoor Messiah. We've upgraded it now. We've retired. We did the last lecture on fear of a BlackaMoor Messiah. Now it's the fear of the BlackaMoor Messiahs.
The fear of the BlackaMoor Messiahs. With an S, bitch.
But that's so this is the statement right here that changes everything. This is the statement right here that shows their hand. This is the statement right here that needs to be challenged, taken apart, and I mean, nothing else needs to be said. Nothing else needs to be said at this point. It is very apparent how these people are scared to death, right? Hit dogs bark, nigga. Wait up. Hit dogs bark.
Nigga, hit dogs bark, nigga. Hit dogs bark, nigga. Woof, woof. Hit dogs bark, nigga. Hit dogs bark. Arr, 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 arr. These niggas is barking. These niggas is barking. Mama, they barking. Mama, they barking. These niggas is arr, arr.
They barking, niggas.
Yeah, they barking. Where my dogs at? Oof, oof.
So, statement from the Brooklyn Nets. Let me read it in their voice.
Over the last several days, we have made repeated attempts to work with Kyrie Irving to help him understand the harm and danger of his words and actions, which began with him publishing a film. Which began with him publicizing a film containing deeply disturbing anti-Semitic hate. We believe that taking the path of education in this challenging situation would be the right one, and thought that we had made progress with our joint commitment to eradicating hate and intolerance around the world. To this day.
To this day.
But oh no. Oh, Kyrie. Oh, slave fucking Kyrie. Oh, hidden colors watching Kyrie. Oh, big Billy badass Kyrie. We were dismayed today when given an opportunity in a media session that Kyrie refused to unequivocally say that he has no anti-Semitic beliefs, nor acknowledging specific hateful material in a film. This was not the first time he had the opportunity, but failed miserably. To clarify, such failures to disavow anti-Semitism when given a clear opportunity to do a buck dance biscuit TikTok, to failure to do so is deeply disturbing, and it is against the value of our organizations and constitute conduct detrimental to the team, meaning that he will tell the niggas to watch more DVDs. Accordingly, we are of the view that he is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. We have decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series. Hold on, Siri. I gotta read the rest of this shit because it's the last line for me, Kanye. It's the last line. This nigga went all the way slave on these niggas. Watch. I promise you. Let me show you. Like, they really tight right now, but they think they really own people. That's what they said. Such failure to disavow anti-Semitism when given a clear opportunity to do so is deeply disturbing. It is against the values of our organization and constitute conduct detrimental to the team. Accordingly, we are of the view that one is cut off too. Well, they basically saying that they suspended the board, you know what I mean? And that they butt hurt. Oh, here you go. We are of the view, we have decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objectives, remedial measures that address the harmful impact of his conduct, and the suspension period served is no less than 5 games. Bomba Clyde.
To this day.
Big lawsuit by that man's hand. Big lawsuit. Big up. Man have to sue Amazon too. Big lawsuit. Can't do that stupid shit. People get excited. You can't do that. Right? This is the day that they turn the people against the NBA. Promise you.
You're gonna see something happen. They went up against a person who is he's Kyrie. He said that his name translated into Yahweh. He's special. He's different. He's different, right? He's different. He's not like the average. These Messiah types are not like the average. Y'all can't bunch everybody into the same motherfucking the box. You know what I mean? Can't put everybody into the same box. Niggas is different. You know what I'm saying? He's built different. I stand with him. I don't care what they make him do. I stand with him all the way through. Like I said in the show on Monday, you know what I mean? He is a role model to the little ones, especially my son and other little ones. And he's standing on what the fuck he said. He's standing on business. You know what I'm talking about? And he's not no puppet. You know what I mean? I know specifically who some of his teachers are and whatnot and his mentors. You know, so salute to him. Keep pushing on. You have the design and the DNA of the Muhammad Ali strain when it comes to this, when it comes to the athletes. So what is it that they don't want you to know? What is it that they're hiding? What is it that they're so afraid of? What is it that they keep falling apart?
What is it just making them say that we might get
hurt? What is it that making them say you putting our safety at risk? What is it? Right? Because they got you thinking that Germans is after them and whatnot, and they just busy making Lexus, Beamers, and Benzes, nigga. If they like our life is in danger, people are hating us. They're not talking about nobody but the motherfucking tribe that they're out here, motherfucking trying to, stealing their birthright. So did Jews dominate the slave trade? Not according to scholars that have closely examined the question. Several studies of the Jewish role in the slave trade were conducted in the 1990s by Jews. One of them, by John J. Faber, compared data on Jewish slave ownership and trading activity in British territories in the 18th century to that of the wider population, right? On the other studies by Harold Brackman and Saul Friedman, they reached similar conclusions. In 1994, an article in the New York Review of Books, David Bryan Davis, an emeritus professor of history at Yale University, right? Bones and Thugs, an author of an award-winning trilogy of books about slavery, noted that Jews were one of the countless religions and ethnic groups around the world to participate in the slave trade. The participants in the Atlantic slave system included the Arabs, the Berbers, scores of African ethnic groups, Italians, Portuguese,
Spaniards, Dutch, Jews, Germans, Swedes, French, English, Danes, white Americans, Native Americans, and even thousands of New World blacks who had been emancipated or who were descended from free slaves, but who then became slave-holding farmers or planters themselves.
Davis went on to note that in the American South in 1830, there were 120 Jews among the 45,000 slave owners owning 20 or more slaves, and only 20 Jews amongst the 12,000 slave owners owning 50 or more slaves. Now, what I just read you was a little bit of their articles, which is their propaganda and whatnot, okay? But there are countless books that will tell you who they were and their role in it. One of the first books that I would definitely recommend is The Relationship Between Blacks and Jews from the Nation of Islam. All right. What is the origin of the Jewish domination claim? The claim of Jewish domination first came to wide acceptance with the Nation of Islam's 1991 book, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 1. Are they lying? The claim of Jewish domination. Listen to this article. Well, like I said, listen to how propaganda works. Now, we know during the era of the 30s and whatnot, where they were having what is known as these witch hunts for communism and things of that nature. We know in the First War, we know in the Second War, World War and whatnot, there was a lot of resentment and there was claims of Jewish domination even going all the way back then. But the claim of Jewish domination in modern day times and whatnot came way before the Nation of Islam's 1991 book. You know what I mean? Cut that shit out, man. Yo, stop it,
You know what I'm saying? Cut that shit. That's cap, nigga. That's cap. What is you saying? What are you saying? You niggas trying to twist the narrative around, nigga. That's cap.
Fuck out of here. So the heavily footnoted and seemingly scholarly book, which lists no individual author and was self-published by the Nation of Islam, purports to present irrefutable evidence that Jews owned slaves disproportionately more than any other ethnic or religious group in New World history. The book makes a point of basing its finding on Jewish sources, including Encyclopedia Judicia and multiple works by Marcus, though it includes no date on non-Jewish slave owners and traders from which to establish whether the Jewish role was in fact disproportionate. It also routinely ignores claims. Jewish Voice Ministries said they traveled to Nigeria to investigate claims that the Igbo people are descendant of ancient Israelites. Some Igbo believe the term Igbo is a bastardized version of the word Hebrew. Right? To point to the many cultural similarities between Igbo traditions and Judaism. The purpose of the test was to provide them with testing. So I'm just putting two articles next to each other to show you that these Igbo who are claiming Jewish ancestry and whatnot, going all the way into ancient Africa, right? These people are definitely not the same people that they're talking about who had their domination in the slave trade, right? Is it anti-Semitic to make this claim? Mainstream scholars and Jewish leaders generally see this claim as anti-Semitic. The Anti-Defamation League, the largest Jewish defense organization, on its website includes the false claim that Jews controlled the Atlantic slave trade in its description of contemporary manifestation of anti-Semitism. So they're saying that if you even say, if you even mention, if you even bring up the fact that they had their hands in it, right, they will outlaw you, they will banish you, they will put the title of anti-Semitism, dry your money up, try to cancel you. Most recently, we've seen how advanced and how forward and how much of you know, and how much of in this day and time, we've never seen this before to this level and whatnot. But we're seeing how far they're ready, that they're able to go in this new environment where social credit systems are being put together before the public's very own eyes. And they agreed with it. They didn't even revolt. They didn't have anything to say when the first demonstration of how they are going to strip the average citizen down, cancel them, outlaw them, make them part of the underground movements is what they did with Kanye West when he went to war against them. Their response, when the Matrix responds, you know, they hit with uppercuts. Okay, so it's anti-Semitic to even bring shit up like this. They are gonna get into what is known as white fragility. You're gonna see a part of them come out that you've probably never seen before. Horns may appear, and so may fangs. So you know, my niggas, tread lightly, stay dangerous in those situations. But when you start pressing them, you're gonna see something go down that you probably are not prepared for. But as Yale's Davis noted in his 1994 article, the claim is similar to numerous other historical efforts to blame Jews for a host of problems and atrocities. Why me? Woe is me, woe is me. Jews, partly because of their remarkable success in a variety of hostile environments, have long been feared as the power behind otherwise inexplicable evils. For many centuries, there were the only non-Christian minority in nations dedicated to the Christianization and thus the salvation of the world, signifying an anti-ethical other. Individual Jews were homogenized and reified as a race responsible for crucifying the Savior, for resisting the dissemination of God's word, for manipulating kings and world markets, for drinking the blood of Christian children, and in modern times for spreading the evils of both capitalism and communist revolution, nonetheless. The notion. We gotta
read this in another voice, nigga.
The notion of Jewish domination, of slaving, was embraced by, among others, David Duke, who has promoted it on Twitter and on his website, and by the City College of New York professor Leonard Jeffries.
To this day!
Whose 1991 speech, echoing the claim of Jewish domination, provoked a public controversy that led to his ouster as chair of the college's Black Studies Department. A federal judge later reinstated him. Tony Martin, a tenured professor of Africana Studies at Wellesley College, drew criticism in 1993 for assigning the secret relationship between blacks and Jews in his courses. Soon after, Martin published a book entitled The Jewish Onslaught, Dispatches from the Wellesley Battlefront. Although the book was condemned by Wellesley's president and many of Martin's colleagues, Martin remained on the faculty until his retirement.
More recently, Jackie Walker, the British activist and major supporter of Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn, grew criticism in 2016 for claiming in a Facebook post the Jews were the chief financiers of the African slave trade. Walker, who also made other public comments offensive to Jews, was briefly suspended from the party because of her claim, but remained unapologetic and was reinstated within a month. It says what? She later apologized, right? Let me see, does it say that? She was later suspended again for publicly bashing the Babylon, right? So this brother right here is attempting to wake his people up, right? He says some generational authors that shift consciousness positively. The truth is out there and it's ours. This is from Kyrie. This is a Kyrie Irving tweet. Then he showed a list of authors, right? He did what I always asked the Black Lives Matter. When I was observing them, and then when I critiqued them, I made a lot of simple points that were very heavy and spoke to the fallacies of their organization. I said, wait a minute. Hold on a motherfucking minute.
Hold on. Wait a motherfucking minute. Skirt. Wait, skirt. Pull the needle back. Nigga. How the fuck you niggas got so many followers on the internet, but y'all never put out a book list? Y'all out here protesting, working on your motherfucking glutes, but you ain't never put out a book list of the names of some authors that can help make sense of the fact that we was at war against the fuzz. You know, Mr. Charlie and all of his peoples, which translated to the system. You know what I'm talking about? Which translates to white supremacy, biatch. So he's giving out names, and he's red-pilling his followers. What does red-pilling mean? Wakes them up, gives them the pill. They go down a rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying? They wake up and motherfucking Dorothy wakes up on a yellow brick road, and they begin their journey. Okay? That's how that shit works. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. You don't apologize. You keep pushing forward. These people who don't want you to wake up, who don't want you to realize your messianic force, to don't want you to discover the messiahs amongst you, don't want you to be charged up, don't want you to rise up. They gonna do everything in their motherfucking powers to try to chastise and shame our men and women for having the audacity, the caucasity, to motherfucking be wise and intelligent. That part, to take off like a motherfucking rocket.
To this day!
They don't want us to take off.
To this day!
They don't want us to take off. They want to take us down. They don't want us to take off. You know what I mean? But we taking off our motherfucking masks, and we gonna show them who the fuck we really are. We gonna shine our light. That's what we out here doing. So go and get these books that he putting on a book list. I'm going to put every single book on this list right here in our book club, and we finna read that shit together. Together. Blood in My Eye, George G. Jackson, legend. AA Rashid put me on to that motherfucking book, right? It'll make you a warrior. Matter of fact, bringing up AA Rashid, let me see. He's supposed to be in the building with us, but I'm sure he got things that he needs to do. But me and that man is doing a lecture together, a master class on November the 13th, a day before my birthday.
To this day.
I'm gonna be in rare form, niggas, on my birthday. Scorpion King, 2 Scorpion Kings. We gonna tap in, and he has something monumental. Go to the website, KTL University, and go and get your tickets and whatnot. Read the description, what we bringing and what we delivering, and you'll see that this shit is not a game. But anyway, moving further, because his information with the Kabbalah is gonna cut through a lot of the monotony, and the shit will have you looking like Kanye at a Balenciaga show. War ready, nigga. War ready, that part.
That war.
War ready, big war.
That part. Big war, nigga.
Big drip. I fell in love with him. Hey. Ow. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, so let me get to what we got to get to, because I don't want to have y'all up all night. All right, so here's some of the other books. The Stokely Carmichael, Jacqueline Johnson, Julius Lester, To Be a Slave, Joseph Marshall, Street Shoulder, Yvette Moore, Freedom Song, Toni Morrison, Song of Solomon, Gordon Parks, The Learning Tree, right? J.A. Rogers, Great Men of Color,
Volume 1, Volume 2, Legend, hold on. Sada Shakur, Assorta, right? So, you're witnessing them do what they did to this man.
And this man didn't even take it that far. His tweets wasn't that controversial. He was feeding the people, but in a few of Kyrie's tweets, he managed to bring out more motherfucking 7-course meals than young Kaepernick. And that's not judging him, but we definitely smudging him. He was a progenitor, 2012, right? He's a Scorpio. That's his sign. He's a Scorpio, right? The Falcon. He was on a meteoric rise. I believe in his rookie year, he went to the chip. You know what I'm talking about? Blue Pill breaks down the whole Kaepernick thing and whatnot. But this is the other K. This is the progenitor, okay? This is the progenitor. He took the knee, right? But taking the knee to people thinks that you think that taking the knee is something honorable. If you watch the whole season, the last season of Game of Thrones, taking the knee or bending the knee means that you were submitting, right? So taking the knee was not a power, it's not an action item, it's not a power move, it's not a power play. You know what I'm talking about? It's not a power position. How about that? It's not a power position. So
To this day.
this is the beginning of the woke shit. This is a lot of the woke, a lot of woke energy. A lot of black Twitter niggas had their Gizmo and Gremlin moment and turned into, Kappa, Kappa-Phi Kaepernicks. You know what I'm talking about? Kappa-Phi Kaepernicks, and that's just playing it safe, niggas. You know what I'm talking about? You grow the fro, you get the dashiki, you throw your hands up, and then you go and shoot a nigga a few hours later. And that's where they got our people and whatnot, because they don't think that they got to put in no type of work. They don't think that they have to be plugged into the grassroots and the underground and whatnot. They don't think that they got to put the names of the master teachers out there. They don't think that they got to sacrifice something for real. And when they speak, you know what I mean? Not to say that he didn't have words of enlightenment and that he was not speaking and sparking at the same time, because he was standing on his square and whatnot. I'm just giving you the symbol of everything. This is symbol literacy 101, y'all. So from Muhammad Ali to Colin Kaepernick, the proud history of black protests in sport. So they connected him to a sacred bloodline, right? That bloodline is Muhammad Ali, or that throughway is Muhammad Ali as the warrior, the one who did not fold, the one who stood up, right? The opposite of him is Orenthal James. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Those are two strains or two variants or two divergence that exist inside of the quote unquote culture or the culture of sports, a multi-trillion-dollar business, a multi-trillion-dollar operation, a multi-trillion-dollar entity and whatnot, where they control the quote-unquote images, likenesses, energy, and the output of in the win and lose scenarios. Because you know they be betting big with these niggas. You know what I'm talking about? Especially if you get into sports betting, you know how people could become multi-billionaires or millionaires off of rigging these games. But anyway, he's tied in with Muhammad Ali, right? For his protests. Okay. He's tied in. So he's the archetype of that energy and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Ali went to jail. Ali changed his name. Ali got down with the nation. You know what I'm talking about? He converted, my nigga. He converted in a day and time where your granny will probably murk you if she seen you drop the motherfucking Bible. You change your name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. That was profound. And he did what? He was being questioned. They told him to apologize. They told him to say sorry about what he said about Vietnam. They told him to be sorry about what he said about him not going to fight for nobody that ain't call him a nigga. They told him to be sorry about being with the Nation of Islam and spreading the teachers and being an inspiration. He was like a Kyrie tweet. Him joining the nation was like instrumental, like a Kyrie tweet, my niggas. You know what I'm talking about? It was like a Kyrie tweet. It sent ripples through our people.
Nothing. Because it's bull jive. This is what Kyrie said in part of his statement.
So that right there is going to be the end of my slideshow. The KKK connection, the KKK factor. I like the KKK connection. Which y'all like better? The KKK factor or the KKK connection with a K, or KKK consciousness? You know what I'm talking about? You know, but 777 in the room right now. Shout out to every single person, every single light being, every single student, every single master teacher, everybody in the building tonight. We going up, you know what I'm talking about? And what a fucking time to be alive. You dig what I'm saying? There's nothing to fear but fear itself. There's nothing to worry about. Everything that's going down is going down according to the motherfucking plan. It was written. It was written. Nothing has happened haphazardly. This is the procession of the equinox. All of you niggas obey the stars. You feel me? Literally and figuratively speaking, we all obey the stars. The Dogons, you know what I'm talking about? The motherfucking Sirius star system. We are all in this theater together. We are all on the world stage. So hold your brothers down. Turn up the motherfucking heat. You know what I mean? Step like the steppers. Walk, 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 walk.
Walk, walk, walk. Nigga, step, 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 step. Walk, 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 walk. Yeah, step, 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 step. That part. Niggas is big steppers. It's time to step, my nigga. The same thing.
To this day.
You niggas grew up watching Chief Keef. These niggas, right? You grew up watching Fredo Santana and Drillers and whatnot from Chicago and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? OTF 300. 300. You niggas grew up with that. You grew up with the carnage and whatnot. So do the equivalent of spinning the motherfucking block when it comes down to this holding down this fucking information and spinning the block and doing headshots and whatnot with the truth. Unapologetic headshots. You know what I'm talking about? Red dots. You know what I'm talking about? That's what we need. We need to drill with this information at this point. We need this shit to be like motherfucking drill music. Put this shit to a beat. You know what I'm talking about? Put these demonstrations to a beat. Like we showed.
It's a movie. Facts. 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 Facts.
We gotta swag this shit the fuck out. We don't need anybody. Listen to me. I promise you, and I'm not just saying this because it sounds cute and whatnot. I'm not here to trauma bond with nobody. You know what I'm talking about? And we still speaking symbol literacy, right? So the great divine speaks through signs, respectfully. This is the day and time to utilize your imagination and whatnot and tap into the unknown and bring some shit to fruition, right? Yeah, put the Kabbalah on the track. The doors have opened up. Pandora's box is open and they cannot close it. You know what I'm saying? We're even going to be doing a watch party for the documentary that Kyrie is promoting at the Royal Lounge, and everybody is welcome to come. I'll give you the date. We'll upload it on the channel and let you know what date that is. But we're gonna, you know what I mean? We're gonna watch that together, and we're gonna have a panel discussion, and we're gonna also recommend and we're gonna pressure the athletes and people who are of our race to tweet Hidden Colors 1 through 5. And when a new one comes out that me and Blue Pill is in, the Maroons, we want them to put that on Twitter as well. Because if they could tweet murder, if they could tweet drill,
If they could tweet the function,
If they could tweet twerking, if they could tweet BLM, like, when is the trial date for niggas that was pushing BLM in a Jabbington? When is their trial date? Let me know. I want to pull up to the courtroom. What day do these niggas face the judge? Talk that sass, niggas!
To this day.
What the fuck?
What's
To
the
this
date?
day.
I wanna know. Inquiring minds wanna know. When do we pull up and see these niggas get sentenced? Cause the amount of money that we gonna get off of the fines alone is gonna fund the operation. They out of pocket. They gotta pay. Fuck out of here.
To this day.
they gotta pay,
To this
niggas.
day.
I'm gonna get Charleston off white on you niggas. Fuck is you saying? Charleston off white, nigga. These niggas gotta pay. With a big homie tax. If niggas gotta check in, well, you niggas that was pushing all of that, you gotta check in. I want some of that Cadillac money. Talk black to me. What the fuck? I want some of that BLM money because niggas is still not outraged that 90 million was missing and they dealing with small time shit. They counting Kanye pockets, but not the lady with the pimple on her nose from Black Lives Matter. Talk black to me. Fuck is going on? And the little nigga with the blue vest, where he at? They said he was driving Uber Eats. Where the nigga with the blue vest at? So it's up and it's stuck. Yes, Charleston off-white. I'm in my motherfucking Birkin bag. And there's no turning it back. They declared war, nigga. That you seen that shit that the Nets wrote? Nigga, that was highly disrespectful. I took that serious. To this day. I took that shit serious. I'm like, oh, you niggas is telling niggas that they can't think? Niggas can't share a tweet, but y'all don't got no smoke for Jeff Bezos. Right? They're gonna take the video down. Right? They're gonna take the video down. It's gonna make the video even more. Remember, everything that they're canceling, from the Yeezy sneakers to anything that this man's hands touch, all of that is gonna be worth something. We live in a collector item. We live in a consumer-based reality, hyper reality nonetheless, but it's all consumer-based. So everything is about memorabilia and collectibles. The sneakers, the White Lives Matter t-shirt, they said that they brought it to Skid Row and niggas was refusing to pick it up. That's why they on Skid Row. No disrespect, respectfully, but a real motherfucker would be like, give me the whole box. I'ma sit on this shit for a minute and I know it's finna go crazy because anything is bound to happen. That is a collector item of all collectors' item. Are you dumb? Huh?
Nigga, are you dumb, Skid Row nigga? Are you dumb? Are you fucking dumb? Astaghfirullah, nigga, astaghfirullah. Are you dumb? Nigga, what? I'm really asking you niggas. Right? You're getting hoodwinked. You're getting bamboozled. Niggas is stacking up on them Yeezys telling you, oh yeah, we turned them away and we don't carry them no more. That's a way to hold on to the inventory until that shit goes to the moon. Take off. Houston, we got a problem.
You niggas don't see it. I don't think people see this shit. They're blind to the realities
because they're not prosumers. I'm an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? That's the new stripper in the hood. I'm the entrepreneur. That's the new booty shaking in the hood. Everybody entrepreneur, nigga. I'm an entrepreneur. I look at the world through rose-colored glasses. Rose-colored cardies, nigga. I look at the world differently. I'm like, oh, nah, that shit, all of this shit is about to go up. Collect it all. Fuck out of here. This is big theater. You in a moment. You in a moment. Because you a reactionary. We proactive. Like I told you, offense wins the motherfucking chip, nigga. We offset. We offset. We a step in the future. So we letting you know, get out your feelings, facts over feelings, nigga. The rise of the motherfucking Black Messiah, the fear of the BlackaMoor Messiahs, right? They're only driving people to do more research. The truth is not going anywhere. You're gonna watch people create all kind of narratives, and they're gonna melt in front of you, and it's gonna get hot. They so turned up that they'll take this whole shit with them. You thought suicide bombers was in Iraq, nigga. If the going get tough and they gotta let go of this shit, they're gonna let go of it. That's how much. What do you think they said that they fear the rise? He said that he was jealous. They said that they feared. They're like, yo, you gotta apologize because my kids are scared because they're in fear. Nigga, the gods. Shout out to Ancient Homage in the fucking building. Look. We're gonna have an Ancient Homage day where I'm gonna be, putting some collector's items up for sale. You know what I mean? We're gonna have a fashion show from afar. You know what I mean? Because we in Scorpio season, so I can't be around you niggas. Real talk. I'm gonna be in Charlotte and whatnot, but it will be out of Scorpio season. For Scorpio season, nigga, I'm running around and in a motherfucking tank. I'm pulling up like, you don't talk about that part. Don't get caught slipping out here. But I ain't in the public for this retro. I'm going to be behind the scenes, pulling this shit the fuck down, doing what I do, making magic happen, pillar prophecies, you know what I mean? Recording the magic in real time. You know what I'm talking about? All of my team is activated. We all out here drilling and whatnot. We spinning the block, nigga. We up. Fuck's you saying, nigga? We up. We up on the board, nigga. To this day. Intellectual warfare, nigga. We up on the board. Fuck is you saying? They out there crying that they losing their homies. Y'all think that they out there drilling and whatnot and they tough and whatnot. They crying because they homies is getting their shit pushed back. He came with the flaming sword, even though he didn't swing it the right way. Shorty, will you come my way? It don't matter. It still got swung. The sword is sharper than any of this shit. It breaks through the motherfucking power of the pen. You know what I'm talking about? Did you hear the nigga with Boaz? Are you niggas going to DC this weekend to be with Boaz and Tyree? To do the march? I'm going to try to make it. Because I want to always be where history is taking place. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, we cooking. They nervous. Keep cooking. 300. Remember the scene where they pushed them off the cliff? Keep pushing. Keep pushing. And you're going to see a change overnight. We just getting started. This is an hour into the movie. Don't walk out yet, my niggas. You know what I'm talking about? And don't get scary either. Because you're going to see some shit that's going to make you motherfucking not want to smile. It's going to make you turn away like when Tony killed Manolo. But it is what it is. We in this month. Keep in mind, and Blue Pill touched on this, but I'm going to finish it. And also, our Keebalon 44, I think we might have to pull up on y'all Forum Voltron before it's all said and done. How do y'all think about a live show with our good brother Al Keebalon, Red and Blue Pill, maybe at the Royal Chamber? You know what I'm saying? It'll be limited seats only and whatnot, a private event. Al Keebalon 44, Red and Blue Pillar, and probably 2 or 3 other people. We're going to stack the deck very high. Even moving forward in this season with my lounge, I'm doing events only right now. I got work to do. I got books to create. I got all kind of shit to do. So we doing events. So we gonna do a big ass event. We doing a watch party. We got shit working out. Believe you me. You know what I mean? I'm active and I'm activated. So you know, I'm not slowing down. With that being said, yeah, like I said, me and AA got something coming up. We're gonna hop on the live. We're gonna jump on the show together and let y'all give y'all a glimpse and whatnot of what we got cooking up for our birthdays on some Scorpio shit. You know what I mean? It's really real in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And it's really going down. And the great divine is speaking through signs, and the universe is conspiring for your success.
To this day.
Promise you.
To this day.
Universe is conspiring for your success. Nigga, we made it. You know what I'm talking about? And we got work to do. The babies is asking questions that people want to know. They like, yo, at least give me the opportunity to make decision myself. What's going on, Kyrie? What is he doing that got y'all so crazy and whatnot? You know what I mean? But until they start telling you the truth, then you charge them with anti-Semitism. You know what I mean? You charge them with being hate-filled and whatnot, using hate speech and lying to you and using propaganda and making you unsafe. Because the lies that they've told you about your true history that they're hiding and whatnot, because of the roles that they play, man, you know, that's for another conversation. Tonight's conversation was beautiful. I enjoyed every single moment of it. Thank you, everybody, for being in the building, soaking up this information. We will, oh shit, before I forget, yes. We all know that the Houston Rockets is in the World Series and all kind of shit like that is going on. But last year, right, what is it about November, right? What is it about Scorpio season that the rappers die in Scorpio season? So many of them, Young Dolph, right? Remember, we just had the tribute to the ancestors on Saturn Day. No. Yes, on Saturn Day at the Royal Chamber, we were playing a playlist of all of the rappers who are no longer with us, who are ancestors. Nigga, that shit was litty, bro. That playlist was out of this fucking world. I promise you. The dead rappers is lit. Shit they talking about, they swag and they sound in the frequency of the dead rapper playlist, of the ancestor playlist. Man, they go in. I promise you. We started off with 100 shots. Hey, 100 shots. 100 shots. How the fuck you miss a whole 100 shots? Hey, Young Dolph. Shit was lit. Y'all playing, bro. Shit was lit. Scorpio season. We might even have a birthday party. Keep you updated, man. But anyway, Travis Scott in Houston at an event called Astro World, I'm sorry. An open concert with 50,000 people of all nationalities raving. This was a concert that brought the likes of many of the top premier artists. I believe the Migos was also a part of that quote unquote concert. Little Uzi, there was a lot of artists. I'm gonna go through the flyer, right? There's on KTL University, as a matter of fact, if you scroll through it, you'll see American Gods, and you'll see the flyer for the lecture that me, Al-Kibalon, and Blue Pill did. That was the top seller for 2021. We called it 21 Savage, right? 21 Savage is 2021, and American Gods is the name of the series and whatnot. You'll see Travis Scott and them on the cover, Young Dolph, Rise and Power on the cover. The shit is a bona fide classic. I'm gonna upload that to my Patreons. Matter of fact, I'm gonna upload that to my Patreons. Yeah, let me real quick. So Travis Scott, right? Travis Scott, in last year in an arena of 50,000 people, right, had a set design where the edifice that he was standing in front of, right, said, "See you on the other side." right? It looked like what was akin to a drawing by Dante that was entitled The Gates of Hell, right? A mouth that was also doubling as a pyramid or a mountain or a mound and whatnot. This was taking people to the other side. In this concert, I believe 9 people lost their lives due to trampling, suffocation, and also foul play, from what I've heard. There was a rumor of people being stuck with needles and whatnot. I can't necessarily confirm it because I didn't go into the toxology report of all of the victims. However, this was a grand ritual on the highest levels whatsoever. Kanye West was also in the news because, remember, he had just got off of Drink Champs and he was getting at Drake, he was getting at Travis Scott, and he was getting at Virgil, right?
To this day. To this day.
Right after that, Drake was at the same concert. Drake, who dropped the album with 21 Savage tonight, was at the same concert, and him and Travis Scott were on stage while those people were being sacrificed. It was being live streamed on Apple to 150 million people around the world. So they participated in the blood ritual. They participated in the sacrifice. They participated in whoever, them people behind Apple, them people behind these streaming platforms, they were feasting and feeding and whatnot. Some of their top stars were on stage performing their quote unquote craft and whatnot, while they were probably performing a craft as well. And these people were getting crushed. Keep in mind, like I said before, if you don't think that these Kabbalists, if you don't think that these wizards, if you don't think that these sorcerers that are in the industry and around the industry and hired by the industry to do a lot of quote unquote things that are considered to be phenomena and supernatural, where they could affect the safety of people who they own contractually, people who they own on paper, people whose likeness, name, soul, spirit, intellectual property, publishing, everything is owned by these sorcerers and these quote unquote factions that people have said on many occasions, they said more times than they didn't say it, that these are the most shadiest, wickedest, right, most cunning and conniving people that they've ever come across, right? So these people that remain in power, right, they remain in power. Nobody is getting over on the record industry, in the entertainment. Not too many people are beating them to their game or at their game. They tend to come out on the top on a lot of different occasions and whatnot. Why is that? So if you don't think that these people are behind the scenes utilizing all forms of Sumerian blood magic, you know what I mean? All forms of demonic witchcraft, sacrifice and shit like that to affect these artists, right? Where they have these freak killings and whatnot, which could be seen as sacrifices, then I really don't know what to tell you, you know what I mean? Speaking from a symbol literate space, I'm saying to look at it with your symbol literate eye. Look at it with your true crime, you know, but don't be too logical, because you could be too logical and miss the motherfucking point, okay? There's something going on with these labels. Like when I pointed out the empire, right? The empire, the invisible empire, the empire of their own, the Empire Strikes Back, right? When Empire, the record label, Empire from the TV show with Lee Daniels and whatnot, where they were portraying a family, right? Lucius, who is supposed to be Lucian, right? And Cookie, and their children and whatnot, and they interject, they gave all kind of agendas even through that show. That show had a level of dehumanizing, degrading, but it was also auto-suggesting and programming to the subconscious of many of our people. And I remember seeing a shift even in the culture after the run of quote unquote Empire. That's when what's his name? Juicy got caught lying and whatnot, and he kind of killed the momentum, and then the show fell down and went down after that. So Travis Scott has this ritual. This ritual opens up a gate. The same thing that everybody was watching, right? We all watched it together. On the lecture, I broke it down. We all watched it together. And I'm like, do you see the ritual taking place in real time right in front of you? A portal was open because after that quote unquote concert, young Dolph gets killed in Memphis where the Kings go to die. And it's been killing and killing and killing and freak shit, not just in the music industry, in the culture. Every other day, the body counts, the depravity, the Jeffrey Dahmer shit that's taking place. There's a dark energy that has blanketed, right? There's an egregor, there's a thought form, there's an energy, right, that hovers above drill culture, rap culture, right? Trap culture. And it's not the pimp god charade, nigga. These are some wicked entities. And people are possessed. And they got walkthroughs and whatnot. Niggas is walking around straight up possessed. They talk about mental health. These niggas is demonically possessed, bro. What are you talking about? And they on every single drug known to man. But they demonically possessed. They on big drugs. And they on big demon time. So this is just part one. We just cooking up. We in the lab, you know what I mean? Making observations while we chilling on the branch like an owl. But yes, protect yourself spiritually. Do your invocations, right? I call back my power. I call back my light. I call back my word. You got to call back your power. You got to forsake all of this other shit, distractions, weak energy and whatnot. You got to forsake it. You have to draw a motherfucking line in the sand and protect not only your neck, but your mind, your head, your helmet, your temple. That part.
Nigga, that part. So, we out of here. You know what I'm saying? This has been a monumental presentation. I enjoyed myself. Yeah, that part. We will see you very, very soon. Stay dangerous. You dig?
It's a movie. Facts. 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 Facts.
Okay, the food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the eco. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grind, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Fast. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Found out the hacks, put it underneath the rack. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. We in your city, pull up where we at.
Facts though, I talk factos. Ask J Babe, I go Astro. Floating focused on my cash flow. We plant star seeds to make the grass grow. I'm a real floater, I do what I wanna. Stacking the winter, sunbathing the summer. My chakras align and I shock them like Blanca. Only part we acknowledge a nigga is Paulo.
At these events, I'm a god to my people. Got out the streets, yeah, we dodging a Rico. Game of roulette, I'm a casino. The game wasn't fair, yeah, the odds wasn't equal. Squad got the Chico, my squad got the Chico. Game in a drought, yeah, they starving the people. Blaming and doubt, make it harder to eat, yo. Not a placebo, that's not a placebo.
The food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the eco. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grind, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Fast. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Found out the hacks, put it underneath the rack. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. We in your city, pull up where we at.
Started in Richmond, art of my district. Heart of the mystics, started for biscuits. Father to isfits, martyr to misfits. God is my witness, God on my hit list. Moving the weight, we started with fitness. Moving with states, we art of the richest. Give me the blues, my heart is in Memphis. It's part of adventure, started my venture. The F is for food, the A is for art. The C is for clothes, I'm playing my part. T is for tech, I'm playing it smart. S is for shelter, I stay in the park. Acres or acres get lost in the dark. We playing a part, we playing it smart. Facts.
Okay, the food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grand, I'm stacking up these